I've got three massive drinks, and in hindsight, I don't know why I've made three big drinks. For some reason, I just thought I'd be really thirsty. Maybe I made a gin. I've got a gin and tonic,
Right.
and then I was like, well, I need a hot drink, so I made a cup of tea, but quite a big one. And then, just out of habit, I've also gotten water. So I've just got three big drinks.
What? What are you? That's weird, man.
I don't know why. I don't know why I did it.
Gin and tonic and a cup of tea and a big glass of water. That's too many.
Just in case.
That's too much.
Watch me wet myself live on podcast.
Yeah.
No, I have a really big, like, glass stein that's, like, I fill it up, and then that's me good for at least half the day.
I mean, I reckon I should get one of those hats that hold two drinks, and like, I feel like just having that would make me more pumped for recording stuff because it's like you're at an event or something.
Yeah.
Just fill it up with Red Bull.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say get one of those hats, but like tea in one side and gin in the other, and then you never quite.
Oh
like,
god!
Fuck. I went for the gin and got the tea straw, and oh, what a mess!
No, you drink them both at the same time.
As long as it goes in.
Yeah. This tasty, lukewarm drink of gin and tonic and tea. That's probably a drink already. I feel like every cocktail's been made at this point, right? Everyone has tried everything.
Yeah.
That's probably like some...
Yeah, don't you remember we watched that mixologist?
Oh my god, yeah.
Show that just went on and on.
Homeboy, get yourself the hat with the gin and the tea. That's who I'm thinking of.
He's disappeared from my timeline. I don't know what happened to him. I think someone said maybe he just drank too much and he just died.
There's only so many jungle juices you can make in trash cans before something goes wrong on set.
Yeah.
He's probably like mixing a whole bunch of shit together, not realizing he accidentally made a bomb. And he's just blown up his entire set. Oh,
let's get your napalm in there. Yeah.
Mix in your gunpowder, man. Just like, this is probably not safe, but who knows? I used to watch so much of that guy. Do you ever do that thing where you find like a new YouTube Shorts channel, and because the videos are so short, you just binge the entire channel in like an hour?
No, my YouTube Shorts. They've gone weird again. It's all TikTok dances and stuff.
Oh,
I'm
no.
like, oh,
Like gang shit.
I got it to a good spot. Actually, yeah, I haven't seen any of that. Actually, that's weird.
I think I was in your chat today for Twitch, and someone said just gang or something, and I had this like my brain kind of went like, oh my god, I forgot. It's like the whole gang shit happened, and then it was everywhere, and then it vanished.
Yeah. It's like a fever dream that we all shared for like a week, and it's gone now. Yeah,
like did it even happen? gang. But yeah, how are you anyway? Welcome back to the world of having a microphone in front of your face for 10 hours a day.
Oh yeah, it was good. I enjoyed my time off. It was very, very relaxing. Saw that Oppenheimer. That's a pretty good film.
Still haven't seen that.
Heard.
Yeah, been meaning to see it, but just...
Have you not seen it? Oh, okay. I won't. Because I have a thing with it, but it's like if I complain about it, it'll be in the back of your mind when you go and see it,
yeah,
and it might ruin it for you. But so I'll save it then.
I feel like I haven't seen it. I feel like I know how it ends, right?
Yeah, well, it's a historical film, Josh. Yes, we all know how it ends.
That's what I'm saying, mate. It's like oh, I don't want to say anything, I'm going to spoil it. I'm pretty sure I know how that movie ends. I feel like I can make an accurate guess as to where it goes. All I
was joking earlier about him. I can't believe they added an after credit scene to Oppenheimer. And like nobody was going for it.
He will return in Oppenheimer, Secret Wars or something.
Yeah.
I've been getting speaking of like after credit scenes, I've been slowly getting back on the Marvel train after fully falling off. I'm going in
What,
with like no expectations and just watching the newer stuff. All I haven't seen, I haven't seen the new Guardians still.
That's good.
Yeah, and I haven't seen what is it, Secret Invasion, the new TV series.
Yeah.
But I went back and I watched Wakanda Forever and the Ant-Man Quantumania, and they were okay. You know, they're just
Only one moment.
that's fine. They're okay. They're all right.
That's weird though, because if I was disenfranchised,
Yeah,
with Marvel, and somebody said, "Here's what'll fix everything: Ant-Man and the second Black Panther." I did not enjoy those films very much. Me and Aaron put on Quantumania the other night. Well, it's like a month ago now, and we weren't even trying to get distracted. We were just like, I'm just bored. I just don't care about any of this. This is all...
Quantumania. When I watched it, I was like, this is okay, but it just felt like I had the weirdest moment where the entire film felt like what do you call it? Is it like a sound stage or just like a green screen stage? Because that whole movie is basically CG, right?
Yeah,
they're in the quantum realm or whatever, and it's just I couldn't get out of my head that every scene was just Paul Rudd running along a big green mat. And sometimes the CG looked really weird as well. There was some really weird, like, flat CG. I came away thinking, like, it was okay. It's like the most average Marvel thing ever.
That's what I mean, though. I felt like, because you said, oh, I'm back on Marvel, and I was like, oh, you watched Guardians of the Galaxy? Because that's just been put on Disney Plus. Because I've heard, like, of all the things to watch, that you should watch that one. That's the good one. It's like James Gunn's last Marvel movie, right?
I'm back on it in the sense that not that like I'm really enjoying it. I'm back on it in the sense that I'm making an
you're participating.
Yes, yeah. I've turned up to practice. I'm not enjoying playing.
You should. This is you should watch The Bear. Someone told me about The Bear.
That's with DiCaprio, right?
No. Not.
Where he gets attacked by a bear.
What? No. It's the show The Bear. It's on it's on Disney Plus. It's really good.
Is that Marvel or was it just Disney?
No, it's an FX series. It's on Disney.
Oh, okay.
It's got nothing to do with Marvel, I don't think, unless I guess it's
unless
it's in Chicago, I guess. Does Marvel stuff happen in Chicago? It's all New York, isn't it?
Disney Plus The Bear. Watch The Bear. Full episodes of The Bear.
It's good.
I've never heard of this.
No, it's very.
I've seen a lot of like trailers and stuff for this.
Yeah.
Kami, a young fine dining chef, comes home to Chicago to run his family sandwich shop. That sounds interesting. Sounds different to most stuff they put out.
Yeah, that guy on the right, is he in like another thing as well right now? I feel like I know his face.
I feel like he's got a look. Like he looks like a lot of people. Does that make sense?
See, I think he looks very distinctive. Like if you saw that guy, you'd know it was him.
I feel like he looks like just like he looks like a YouTuber. Like I've seen him on YouTube a million times. I feel like that kind of look. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't. Oh, he's in Shameless.
Oh, I haven't watched that. I've heard that's good though.
No, I haven't watched.
That's quite old now,
isn't
it?
The only thing I recognize here. Well, there's like there's a UK one, and then there's an American version of Shameless, which I think is still ongoing, but I'm not sure.
Like The Office, American and English.
Yeah, The Office was like 8 episodes in the UK, and then it was like 400.
Yeah. It's like 6, I think. It's like 6 20-minute episodes, and America's just like, I can milk this. But yeah, getting it back around. Yeah, I watched Quantumania and Wakanda Forever. I liked Wakanda Forever more than Ant-Man Quantumania.
I thought that movie gone.
I was gonna say I had some really weird things with it, which I googled. Apparently, other people had the same problem. It's filmed with apparently a really specific lens, like camera lens, that makes everything in the background hyper blurry. And because I was watching it, and there's certain scenes where the characters are in focus, but I was like, "What the fuck is up with the background? Like, what is going on?" I was thought my eyes were breaking. But no,
It's like
yeah.
extreme fisheye lens or something.
It's not even like fisheye. It's just hyper blurry. Like everything's out of focus. But more so than it should be. There was that, and there was also a whole bunch of that movie takes place at night, and I felt like I just couldn't see anything.
Yes, we had the exact same problem when we watched it. It's like watch on my TV, which I think already kind of skews darker than a lot of actual TVs. It's not like properly backlit or something.
Yeah.
And the opening scene especially is like set on an oil rig in the middle of the sea in the middle of the night, and we were just like, what is happening? I can't see anything.
There's a scene in that movie. I think it's like really early in, like a quarter or a third of the way in, and it's the introduction of the antagonist meeting the protagonist. It takes place at night by a really tiny campfire, and it's just people talking. I can't see anything. I'm like, they're like meeting the bad guy, and I cannot see anything.
Yeah, I'm watching happen to us.
Yeah, I'm watching it at night as well. I've got all the lights off to try and help it out as much as possible. I can't see anything.
It looked great in the cinema.
I'm sure it did.
Bet it did.
I'm sure it did. Yeah. It looks shit on my TV. Can't compare like a cinema experience to my £300 Roku Chinese knockoff TV. It's not fair.
That's because I feel like I really enjoyed going to see Oppenheimer in the cinema, like because that film is like it's kind of like, I don't know, it's like a weird mix because it's kind of spectacle, but also it's a lot of just people talking at each other in rooms.
Yeah.
So it's like I guess I didn't really need to see that in the cinema, but like when it actually goes off, it properly, you're like, oh, I'm glad I watched this.
Yeah.
But I feel like I'm just like one really good 4K TV away from just like swearing off the cinema because it was like 3 hours in those leather chairs in the cinema watching.
Oh my god, yeah, it's long, isn't it?
Oh, I feel so gross.
I've told myself that like one day, like I'm a few promotions away at this point, but like one day when I have a super nice job, I'm gonna spend just ridiculous amounts on a TV and a sound system, and just like never go to the cinema again.
Yeah.
Because I went to
That's the dream.
Yeah, I had a friend I used to work with back at my old job, and he did that. He spent something stupid like $5,000 on the whole setup.
Oh Jesus!
Like sound, TV, just everything, and it was insane.
Yeah,
he was always talking about it. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, it's probably really good. And then he showed me it's actually mad. It's insane how good it is. But one day, that's the dream. One day,
yeah, because I feel like I'm over. It just took like a couple of big films that I wanted to see but ended up skipping, and now I'm like not hugely fussed about seeing like big films on release day or
I can
weekend
wait,
or whatever. I can just wait. Yeah.
Because there's a lot of movies people are like, you've got to see it at the cinema, and I'm like, do I? Like, what if I just have a super sick setup at home? Like, is that?
yeah.
That's probably really good as well, right? But yeah. Other than that, did you get up to much else while you were off, or just chilling?
No. We had ideas of stuff we wanted to do, and then we properly got into Baldur's Gate, and we just it was like we'd wake up and just be like, let's go Baldur's Gate time. We got some dungeons to delve.
It's another day, baby. Let's go. Straight back into Baldur's Gate.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want to hear like, all about it. So we'll do the intro and then we'll jump straight into it, I think. So, hello everybody, welcome back to the Game FourCast, our weekly gaming podcast where we get together and we chat about what we've been playing and all the new news and releases. My name is Josh, aka BottlerWorks, and I'm here with Olive Meister, Will.
Hello.
And Sammeh.
Hello.
Right, talk to me, boys. Tell me about Baldur's Gate. I'm gonna kick it off very quickly, just with a brief intro. Say Baldur's Gate is the new, what do you call it, like a CRPG? Is that what they're called?
Yes,
CRPG.
Yeah, it's the absolute definition.
Yes,
almost of a CRPG.
Pop quiz. Does anyone here know what the C stands for in
computer?
No way. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it that simple?
I looked it up the other day. Yeah, that's it. It's literally it's a computer version of tabletop role-playing games. So computer RPG.
That makes sense. Yeah. So it's the new CRPG. It's taking the gaming space by storm. Everyone is talking about it. It's literally everywhere. You can't avoid it. So you've probably heard about it. And these two lads have been playing it the past, what's it been out, like 6 days? 5-6 days at this point?
Well, it's been early access since God knows how, like a year or so or something.
Yeah.
But it officially launched on Thursday, and it's completely out now. It's kind of surreal because we've had early access for so long.
Yes.
I feel like it had less hype than like
Yeah.
it should have, maybe.
People that were excited for it were obviously excited for it, but
yeah.
This is a huge game, like, and it didn't have like Diablo levels of hype, you know, FF16 levels of hype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was more like, oh, it's out and you can just go play it, and then everybody just went and played it. Like, I don't know, I wasn't seeing like billboard ads for it or anything, or like
It's one of
there was
those,
no trailer in the cinema for Baldur's Gate, but
it's one of those word of mouth
everybody
games
was
for
like,
sure. I feel like it came out and people were like, this is really good. And I feel like every sequential day after it came out, I was just hearing, oh, by the way, it's got this amount of players on Steam. Oh, by that next day, oh, by the way, that number is now bigger. Oh, by the way, now it's like, it just kept going and going and going. And it's just doing insanely well. And this is just the PC launch. Console launch isn't even out yet.
No. It's out on PS5, I think.
I don't think it is. I think the PC version got brought forward.
Oh, no, sorry. It's coming out on PS5, and they haven't announced an Xbox version yet. They
were, I think, at some point saying stuff like it won't come out before 2024, so I think it will be out at some point. But yeah, I mean, like, kind of setting the stage. How have you both found it? Sam, go for it. Like, how have you found the game so far?
Cool, right, yeah, where do you start? So, I was expecting it to be almost just like a carbon copy of Divinity Original Sin, which is like what you should expect it to be, I guess. You know, it's the same studio, same style of game, but it's like, it's just got this something extra that I don't even know how to explain it, but like, you have like such a big map, and you don't have a lot of empty space, but it doesn't feel like you walk 5 steps, you got a combat, and walk 5 steps, you got a combat, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it also hasn't got like, oh, there are people just everywhere.
Yeah.
But somehow the world is like completely full at the same time.
It kind of gives it space to breathe, but at the same time, there's definitely stuff like going on.
There's absolutely like proper, considering again that it's like map based, there's so much to explore when you would think, oh, there's only so much they can do, you know, I can see the limits of the map, etc, etc. But yeah, he's just in that aspect, the game's incredible.
So it's D&D, right? It's D&D rules, Dungeons and Dragons, basically.
Yeah, it's 5th edition?
Yeah, 5th edition, yeah.
At least a very, very strong take of it on it. The combat. I want to say the combat's smooth. I have one glaring issue with the combat, and that sometimes you'll be like, I want to move there, and your character just doesn't take the fastest or best route.
Yeah.
Oh, really? And weird pathing kind of thing as you're moving around.
Yeah, and I'm there like, well, you're clearly going this way for a reason, but why? Like,
that seems like such a weird issue to have. You feel like that'd be one of the main things that would be, I don't know, like ironed out. Like
I had one today where I was in melee combat with a dude, and to attack him, I had to leave his area of like offense, so he got an attack of opportunity on me, and then I had to walk back in so I could hit him.
Yeah.
So what I did was I manually clicked the attack someone button rather than the click on this guy so I go and hit him. I'm like, okay, use weapon on man next to me, and then I killed him. And it was like, that was a little bit of a weird interaction.
So D&D D&D combat, and I guess combat by extension it's all turn based, right? Almost like on a grid. Is it a grid? Is it a grid system in this, or is it free movement? Oh, so
you can go anywhere, basically, anywhere your character could stand. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's like you have like a little movement bar, and the more you move, you can like run out and back in and stuff. And the more you move, the more that goes down. And then stuff like difficult terrain will drain it faster, basically.
Oh, okay. Like water or something. Like
Yeah,
wasteland
or any
water.
grease.
Mud,
Grease is a good one.
vines.
Ice.
Yeah.
Vines. Yeah. Eldritch tentacles, as it were. So it's it's like D&D combat, and then when you're not D&D combat, it's like that classic CRPG of just like you just wander about, you see what happens. And I think it's like Sam was saying, it's like the map is huge, but it's so dense, but like it's never like the same. You never go through like, oh, this is a combat bit and you do like 4 combats in a row. It's always like you walk a little bit and it's like someone will be like, oh, I spotted something, and it's like, oh, my character's perceived something, and it's like,
that's
oh,
cool.
a rock, a strange rock, I can go and interact with that and see what's up. Or like an NPC, or just something. There's always something like within eye shot of your character, you know what I mean, wherever you are.
That, yeah.
Yeah, and it's all just little opportunities for role playing, basically, is what you're doing.
Yeah, so it's
and
not
like
so it's
your
not like, it's not like an
characters-
enemy corridor or something where it's like walk this way, kill enemy, keep going, another enemy,
Yeah,
enemy,
I'm not
enemy.
going to say like
Yeah.
there might be 1 or 2 areas like that,
Yeah.
but it's normally like that because, like in this game again, it's almost like you're friends with everybody in an asterisk until you're
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Go on.
I was going to say, unless you've actively gone to make enemies of someone, you pretty much can make friends with anyone.
Yeah.
Obviously, there'll be standard things that you can't, like just generic enemies. But even then, like,
Yeah.
actual bad guys and like low intelligence creatures, you can still befriend.
Yeah.
and
It's-
stuff.
So
It's
how does
shocking.
that work?
So-
Can you like talk mid combat, or is this like before combat?
But that's the thing, you don't initiate combat unless, like, there's very few things you walk up to and go, okay, we're in combat now.
Oh, so it's not
Almost
okay. So
every
yeah.
single time there's a conversation first.
Like okay, so like yeah, like normal RPG, you walk up to a creature or a monster, you get within a certain range, and it's like, let's fucking go, combat time.
Yeah.
But
exactly.
that's not like this. This is, like you say, this is friendly until you decide to kick it in the dick and initiate combat or something.
Yeah, because I guess a lot of it is like your character has an alignment, right? Which is like how you choose to play it. It's all the classic D&D alignments, basically. But you don't pick one. It's all just like how you go about doing whatever it is that you're doing, sort of thing. And the way the story is set up is like you can go either way. And the game like allows for it in ways that like you constantly, because it's D&D, it's got all these like weird esoteric spells like charm person and stuff like that, and it's always like you every scenario is like there are so many ways you can approach it, and there's so many ways you can break it, but it always allows for it, like however you want to do it. Like if you want to talk your way out, you can do that. You can like sneak around. You can distract people with weird like spells and then sneak past them or something. It's just it's constantly, whenever me and Aaron are playing, it's always you'll do like an encounter in air quotes, whether it's like talking or fighting or whatever it is, and we're always like, what if I just tried this? And it like always just lets you do it. It's crazy.
Those
it
were
never just says no.
When I think of like the closest thing to something like this that I've played in the past, because I don't play a lot of these games, like I just haven't really engaged with this genre. But I think of Mass Effect 1 specifically, where I think it was the final fight at the end against Saren, where you can talk your way out of that boss fight. And I think Deus Ex, maybe one of those games, lets you do it as well, where you can just talk out of boss fights and certain encounters. Can you completely avoid combat in this game if you choose to? Or are there certain fights that are forced?
No. It's less certain. There are a very minute amount of forced fights.
Right.
But it's more so you will be forced to choose a side.
Okay.
That's a good, yeah. Like the start of the story. I don't know if we want to do spoilers, but the setup to the story is like you are infected. You're kidnapped by these illithid, which are like Cthulhu wizards, basically.
Octopuses.
And octopus men, yeah. And the way they don't the way they get more of their race is they slip this little tadpole into your eye, and then after like 10 days, you just explode and you're now a part of this hive mind of octopus people.
Cool.
And so the setup to the game is like you are kidnapped, you're given one of these tadpoles, but it never turns you, and you're sort of like the setup set off to the story is like, oh, we need to get this out and also maybe find out why we haven't just turned into octopus people.
Okay.
And so it's not like you are a good person trying to kill evil. It's mostly just like, please, I just want to get rid of this stupid slug in my head.
Yeah.
If anyone wants to help, like there's so many. It's funny. The first act is you going around and like, you're very quickly sucked into this conflict between two opposing factions.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's just you're just going around like, you know how to fix this? You go fix this? And then there's like major characters will pop up and be like, I can fix that, but I'm gonna call in a favor, or you need to do something for me first. And it's always like, and then some of them will just be lying, and it's like, who can you trust and all that. So it's not like it sets you off with a big you're a goodie, you need to like vanquish evil. The whole game is just like, yeah, whatever you want, man. You want to side with the bad guys in this particular conflict, who, you know, even saying bad, I guess they are bad guys, but it's like you just do it, man. It's up to you.
I just want to get rid of this brain
people,
slug, man. Let's just
yeah. You get some factions which are like morally grey and like you would call them evil, but at the same time you're like, actually they're kind of alright. And then you will get like the actual like, oh no, these people are just straight evil.
Yeah.
And then like the good guys are like, they have the people that are like, oh, for the people, we're gonna do everything. And then like, as you go higher up, they're just cunts.
yeah.
So it's like, you know, how good are they? You know, kind of situation.
Yeah.
So,
and
but it doesn't throw everyone in the morally grey section, which is kind of nice.
Yeah.
It is kind of like, okay, that there are people that are in each one that could be evil or good, despite the fact that their faction might not be that alignment. But it does tend to be like, oh, you know, these people are just trying to get by. There is no evil or good here. Or, oh no, these people are the people that keep the peace. They are good.
I feel like Morally Grey really peaked in popularity around sort of early Game of Thrones, like TV, in regards to like, you know, like on people like, you know, people that don't read books and stuff like that being like, oh yeah, oh my god, Game of Thrones, everyone's nasty, everyone's nice, it's really cool. And now I feel like we've kind of come back around where it's like, you can have a bit of both. You can have morally grey people and also have nice people and assholes.
And it's nice that if you want to be an evil character, you've just got straight evil people to align with.
Yes,
rather than having to go with these morally grey and kind of convert them kind of situation. It's like, no, those people are dicks. They just want to kill everyone, murder everyone, steal everything. And if that's what you want to do, go have fun.
It does feel like it does skew good though, which makes sense because when they always say like the stats are like something like 80-90% of people who play these games, they just play as the goodie, you know, because that's the whole point. But there is enough like wiggle room there that like if you want to be evil, we do account for it, and a lot of the characters are like, I guess I could be evil. I'm just trying to save myself here for the most part. So
any game that I've played an evil character, it has always been playthrough number 2. I just can't. I cannot do it the first time around.
I struggle.
You can be very, very evil in this game as well. Normally it doesn't get me, but like I've done like a renegade playthrough in like Mass Effect and stuff. But there's some choices in this game where it's because you never get locked out by like alignment. So sometimes there's like dialogue options where I'm like, holy shit, I am not touching that. Good lord.
It's like it can even be like minor things as well. I remember playing. This is such a weird throwback, but Assassin's Creed 2, I think it is. there's a random QuickTime event where it lets you hug Leonardo da Vinci. And he kind of like, he puts his arms up. He's like, "Hey, let's have a hug." And you can just miss it or choose to ignore it. And if you don't do it, you don't hug this poor man. He looks so upset. It's just like, oh, I can't even do that. Let alone be fucking kill a village of children or something in one of these games.
Yeah, I saw a great meme the other day that was like all these people worrying about video games causing violence, and here's me like agonizing over whether I'm being too mean to the imaginary NPCs.
Here's me crying because I forgot to feed my Nintendo dog yesterday.
Yeah. That's one thing the one thing that's absolutely stand out in my mind so far is basically every animal in the game. There's some races and some classes will have like ways to speak to animals, right? And like every time you go and talk to an animal, it's like this fully voiced like multiple dialogue choice option. Many of them have little like side quests and stuff like that, and it's so fucking funny every time. It's my favorite part of the game. We came upon, it was me and Aaron playing, and we ran up to this nest of like giant eagles, and there was this one eagle that was just like, he kept telling its kid off because the kid wanted to play with us, and it was like, don't touch the adventurers, they're filthy. So and every time it was saying something, it was me and Aaron were just cracking up. It was awesome.
Yeah, I've heard just the sheer amount of voice lines and story in this game.
It's ridiculous.
It's just insane. It's just insane, apparently.
Because all of it is, there's so many different ways. Like, first of all, there's like the different races your character can be, right? Then there's the different classes. Then there's like, on top of that, there's other stuff that happens in the game. Like, obviously, you're making choices all the way through, but it's like all of it accounts for all of that for the most part. So it's like the amount of variations on just any one conversation. I can't imagine when the character just goes like, "Oh, hey, what's up, cleric man?" And I'm like, what if I wasn't a cleric? Did they just re-record that and just have it ready to go?
Well, that's why these games are so special, right? And they're so popular. It's because the sheer amount of work and variance that goes in. I just feel like people just look at it and go like, a CRPG, a genre that is not overly popular as of, not anymore, but as of the time, is not very popular. The amount of work that goes in of variance and everything. Just like, why bother? Just make, something smaller instead. But these people have actually done it. They've actually gone out and put in the insane amount of work.
Yeah,
to get all this
and
variance.
it is like actually magic sometimes when someone will call back to like a conversation, or like it's better for me. One thing that I've never seen a game do before is you will be going around interacting with a lot of like, they're not main characters, they're not like companions, but you'll chat to a guy and it will just be a little incidental like throwaway bit of dialogue, and it'll just be something, and then like later on we've seen you'll come to like, oh shit, something bad has gone down here, but it's like, it's never just like, oh, there's a load of dead guards. It's like, no, these are dead NPCs that you've talked to from before, and it's I've never seen a game do something like this before. But like me and Aaron will be walking through like there's been an ambush here, and it's like, wait, that guy, I remember that. Yeah. That guy owes me money. What the fuck? He can't just
virtually everyone is named. It's not like guard.
Yeah,
every single person has a name.
Yeah, and they constantly like crop up, and you can like, I bet someone could do like a timeline of like where these people end up, but then it's like, I don't even know if that person is like canon dead, or did we just fuck up somewhere and he's dead now because of that? Because it's crazy.
The old Dark Souls
ridiculous
logic of just chatting to an NPC and go around a corridor. He's dead now. You did something wrong.
Now. Yeah, you spoke to him wrong.
You spoke to him wrong.
I did a quest today where, again, I'm not going to say anything about it, but it had consequences.
Yeah.
And basically what it's done is I had a couple of quests to do in the area, and it told me, like, based on what you do here, stuff is going to change. Are you sure you want to do this?
So it straight up tells you.
It does have points of no return, yeah.
Okay.
But it was like, this wasn't so much a point of no return, so much as this is going to change the current landscape of what's going on.
Yeah.
But I was like, because it was to do with something with my companion. I was like, I want to do this now, and I wasn't too sure like what it would affect. And it turns out I finished it, and then I had nothing else left to do but finish the main story. And like,
oh, I see.
I purposely made a save, but I just in my head I'm like, I'm actually enjoying the game so much. I want to play out to see how my decisions affect things.
There's been a big debate about this online. I've seen lots of discussions popping up of people talking about save scumming, like dice rolls and decisions and things, and other people saying, "Oh, that's the wrong way to play. You got to do it traditional. You can't go back." And I don't know where I sit on it, because I do think these games are better if you stick to your decisions and your roles, because that's just how it goes, right? But I get people when these games are so long. I can understand if people maybe want a certain thing to happen.
Yeah. If you're playing a goody two shoes character and you want to save everyone, and there's an attack going on and like half the people die, and you reload so you can do the combat again to save more people, I completely understand that. Because like on your playthrough you want to save everyone, and that's how you want your playthrough to go.
Yes, yeah.
But there will also be other people where they'll fail a roll and they'll be like, well, I guess we just see where this goes.
Yeah, I think like Josh said though, like if you're planning to do like multiple playthroughs to see how things can go, that's like that. I can see why people would be like, yeah, just let it ride or whatever. But like, I don't know. This is a fucking massive game, and it's like if you're gonna do your one playthrough, I can see people just being like, I'm just gonna reload because I don't want this to go the way I want it to
now.
Exactly.
I'm like I'm 60 hours in. I'm not doing it again. You know, some people be that way.
There is also, it hasn't happened as much as I was worried it might, but when it comes to like, so you're meddling in the affairs of like things much larger than you in this game, like quite a lot, quite often.
Yeah.
And sometimes it feels like it's by design that you're not quite sure the choice you're making, but sometimes you'll get to a choice and it's like, oh, you need to do this, and two characters will be like, pick me or whatever, just as an example. And it's like, I don't feel like the game has equipped me well enough to quite understand the decision that I'm making. Like, this is clearly an important story point, but I don't really know what you're asking of me. And I can see, like, a couple of times me and Aaron have been like, I'm going to pick it. Ultimately, we haven't save scummed any decisions, I don't think, that I can think. Like, not major ones anyway. But there have been a couple times where it's been like, I don't really know what you're asking me, and I am going to reload if this doesn't mean what I think it means, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I have had that. Like, it's like proper D&D, though, right? Where you play with real people, and you do a dice roll. Like, your dungeon master's not going to let you re-roll. If you fuck up, you gotta go with it. And
I think that's one of those things where, like, if I had a person there DMing this game, I could be like, so okay, to be clear, this is the decision I'm making now, right? You need to give me a little more detail. So in this game, sometimes it just feels like there's two big entities above your station arguing, and you're like, I don't fucking know what you mean. What are you on about?
I swear, I haven't played a ton of D&D, but I swear when I have played, which has mainly been with our friend Matt, being the dungeon master, he has given me choices before where I've been like, what do you mean? And he's been like, I don't know what you're talking, like, answer the question, or make a decision. Like, what are you doing with the knowledge?
You probably get on all right then here.
Yeah, but it's tricky though, because I'm not in that situation, right? I can say that now, and then when I'm put in that situation, I could be like, oh, I don't want my favorite character that I have 70 hours with to just die because of a bad decision.
I had a roll, and again, it was today. It was my only real save scum of an actual dice roll, where my character, I'm playing a fighter, big strength.
Yes, fighter represent. Yeah.
I've got the heavy armor. I walk in, I kill things. Things can't kill me. And I try to level it out so that I'm not bad in anything. But if you aren't trying to be good in something, then chances are you can't do it very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can't talk to people very well.
Yes.
One of my companions started straying away from what I wanted them to do because it's the companion that I'm trying to romance. And I
should
was
we get into it? Who are you romancing?
I'm romancing Shadowheart.
Dude, same. Are we playing the same campaign? What's going on here?
Is that the like elf-looking lady with dark hair?
Yeah, the cleric.
Apparently,
Yeah.
quite a few of them are elves when I looked into it.
I have I have no clue about the story, but all I keep seeing is people posting images of her saying "I can fix her." I have no context of what they're talking about.
Which I can fix her.
But that's funny. That's funny because, like, in the roster of potential companions, she is on the complete mild end of "I can fix her." She's like quite normal compared to most people you run into.
Yeah. It's actually not until you start unraveling her story as well that you're like, of course she is a bit twisted.
Maybe I can't fix her.
But like from the get-go, she actually seems like fairly rational and normal.
Yeah.
Whereas like you'll get another companion who just turns around and goes, with me, we're gonna go kill everyone until we get this thing out of our head. You're like, whoa, hold on there.
You look down, your clothes have just fallen off. Whoa!
Yeah, this character started making decisions, and I was like, I'm not. I know it's told me. It's actually told me. It's given me a warning to how this is gonna go. I'm not having that happen. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to have like a spoiler cast because you saying all that. I feel like I've basically left her up to her own devices, and she's been like completely normal through the whole campaign so far.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to have a chat.
We need to have a chat after this.
She starts going down her path once you get to a certain area.
Yeah.
But you're going into Act 3, right? Same as me? Have you started Act 3?
Just about to... It hasn't given us the prompt to begin Act 3 yet. We're not in Baldur's Gate.
Oh, so it says
right
like when you're now in Act 2, Act 3.
Yeah,
yeah.
It does,
whenever you go between acts, it will literally say. I think the first time it's actually a bit deceptive because it's like, oh, you're about to move on. Like, are you ready?
I was going to ask that. So there's a point where you can you have to make a decision where the path splits. And
whether you go over or under, as it were.
Basically, over or under, yeah. And then, so is that that's like the second half of Act 1, and then they come back together in the dark area, the shadowy area?
No, the shadow area is the underground path. The underdark.
No. Okay.
Right.
So you're on the beach, that area, the whole grove, Druid Grove, Goblin camp, all that.
Yeah.
That's all Act 1. Then you get to choose between going underground to the Underdark or overground through the mountain pass.
No, the Underdark is all Act 1.
Yeah. So that's the other end of Act 1, and then they come back together in the, what is it, Shadowlands, I think it's called? And that's Act 2.
I think.
Where did you go?
I took the Underdark path.
Okay.
Which took me straight to Shadowlands.
Yes.
Because all of the Underdark map and everything is all of Act 1. You do it at the same time as the Groves and the Goblins.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So me and Aaron went through the mountain pass instead, which is all overground. But we also ended up in the Shadowlands, which is Act 2. So that's...
Yes.
So it's the game splits there, overground or underground, and then comes back together for Act 2. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, so fundamentally, regardless of what choice you make, you end up at the same spot at the beginning of Act 2. Is that what you're saying?
If you go over, there's an extra step. Because you end up in the same place. It's just overground, you get that little template place.
Yeah, but I imagine you got other stuff for going underground.
No, the underground just puts you straight in the Shadowlands.
This is so interesting hearing you talk about your divergences in your story.
You end up from a different area, so you get to go to the town straight away, and you get to do extra stuff with the town people before you actually do any exploration.
Right. Oh,
whereas I'm pretty sure if you take the mountain path, you're kind of just on your own for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until you find your way.
we hooked up with some other people. We're going over the map, but that's part of the fun. I guess.
Yeah, I was worried when we were talking that you guys did none of the underground stuff, like the Dwagar, like
Yeah, we did none of that.
But that's what I'm saying. That's all Act 1. That's before you
Yeah.
take the choice to go underground or mountain pass.
Oh, so you're saying you can go to the Underdark and explore all of that, and then go back?
Yeah, all that exploration stuff is done at the same time as the Grove and the Goblins.
Right. We did wonder because whenever we got close to the Underdark, we were like, "Oh no, we'll come back. We'll pick and we'll come back." And then it was like we made the choice and we went overground and we just never went to the Underdark at all.
Oh, right. Yeah, see, I felt like there was some weird, like, almost communication error between us.
Yeah,
because
well, that's what we were trying to figure out. Like, can you do everything? Because I don't think the game stops you going back, does it?
Yeah,
so
because I went back. I went from the other side, from the Shadowland side, into the mountain pass and did the mountain area.
We did the same thing. We found the entrance to the Underdark in Act 2, but from the opposite side, yeah.
So I don't know what an underpass is, but what you're saying is, so you haven't missed something, Will. You can go back and do something.
I think we would miss like time
sensitive
critical time sensitive quests, but I bet we could probably just go back and explore all that area if we wanted to.
Yeah,
right.
There's some stuff there. There's two very important people there. Oh wow, that's interesting, and that's what's really
I can hear Sam smiling
as well. It's because I don't want to say, "Oh, Will, you have to go and do this," because it's actually much more interesting.
Yeah,
if they're in their playthrough, they just didn't do it, and maybe those people turn up later.
Oh, I wonder if two people can finish the game, and because of certain routes they take, one person can objectively look at the other player and go, "You missed some really, really cool stuff." That was
probably
optional, but that's like the best part of the game.
I mean, you can miss out on companions if you do certain speech checks and stuff.
So we did. There's a companion. He's actually on the front of the Steam store page there. He's called Astarion. He's this like vampire. That might be a spoiler. He's like a dandy.
No, it's not. It's not. He's literally
I guess it's
got
no
blood
secret.
on his lips,
He's like a vampire. And when me and Aaron did early access, we were like, we don't like this guy. He's kind of an asshole. And like, I think if you were playing like a selfish, maybe chaotic kind of playthrough, he'd be a fun companion. But like, we're like, this guy, every time we do anything, this guy's just being a dick. We just can't stand him. So what we did was, when you wake up on the beach, you sort of go through this like gather your companions like step, right? Where you do little intros. You meet Shadowheart right away. You meet the orc lady, I can't remember her name, Lizelle, and they're all sort of like stood around, and it's super easy. If there are skill checks involved, they're super easy. And for the most part, it's like still teaching you the ropes. So
like
it's like, hey, just pick
longer tutorial.
Just pick all the good options, and just they'll come with you. But as we were walking up to meet Astarion, we were like, what if we just didn't meet him? So Aaron put a little pin on the map that just says loser. And we just never talked to him. And as far as we knew, we're about to go into Act 3. If we go back to the beach, he's still stood there. Just waiting. So we're not sure what that's about, or he's just chilling. Yeah, he's just hanging out.
Right before the game,
so we're not sure what that's about.
Right before the game ends, where it's like, if you do this bit, the game's going to end. Go back to the beach, talk to him, and just tell him to fuck off, and then go and do the ending.
There is only one companion that I think is mandatory to some degree, and that's heavy spoiler territory.
Yeah.
So can you go through, besides what you're saying, you can go through the entire game solo, as in just your player character, without companions?
Yeah,
one of our friends is going through entirely as a rogue, just stealth killing everything.
Who is that?
Welchie's
doing okay. Sounds like a Welchie thing to
do. He's going through. He's not killing everyone. He's not like murder hoboing, but he is like cheesing the shit out of every fight. Like sneak attack, run away, sneak attack, run away. It's really funny to watch.
But it's like,
that's
it's
so
like
amazing.
The game is set up in a way that you can do that. Yeah. Like some of the creative solutions we've come up with, where the game has just let us. Like there was this shopkeeper and they were in like an evil place. We were like, this guy, they're kind of like smugglers, right? They're like unsavory types. And what we realized was, because my guy is super strong, we could go around behind them. There was like a crack in the wall, and my guy could like leap through the building to get into their vault. And then I was like, but I'm shit at pickpocketing, right? Here's their like chest full of loot, but I can't pickpocket. That's Erin's character, but she can't jump here. So what I did instead was just lift the whole chest and just throw it back through the window out to the, and then like it was this weird moment where it's like we just robbed them. We didn't even.
That's like a fucking Portal puzzle or some shit.
It was.
Yeah, if you're strong enough, you can just pick up the chest, put it in your pocket, send it to camp, teleport to camp, and then just plop it out.
Yeah, yeah.
I read a story about someone. I read a story about someone stacking crates or something to make a tower that they could use to then get onto the roof of a building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which again is just, I know,
and skipping a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, like speed runs for these sorts of games must be insane.
That's not even.
Right?
We found Erin's character is like a ranger, and we found arrows that's like, just shoot this and you can teleport to where you shoot the arrow. So it's like,
yes,
that's like school, that's tame stuff in comparison.
Yeah.
You know, you can just fire an arrow up there and just teleport there. It's
you literally
great.
get spells as well and scrolls of these spells, which is literally just like, just teleport to anywhere you can see.
Yeah, yeah.
That's so cool. It's so cool. It's just like, I feel like it's introducing a whole bunch, because so many people are playing this now, right? It's introducing so many people to this sort of game and Dungeons and Dragons and just role playing that I think wouldn't have been exposed to it before. It's just it's so cool to see, because I think it's safe to say like D&D is more mainstream than ever, right? Now with like big budget movies and games like this.
Yeah.
Do you think,
but in a video game format? Not so much.
Well, do you okay, so my question is do you think these sorts of sales numbers and popularity, do you think it was always bound to happen, or do you think it is literally because it was pulled forward away from Starfield, there's nothing else really out? Because I'm not sure. I love how well this game is doing. Do you think it would have done this well around like Starfield, where it was placed before?
I think it's like any really super successful video game launch where it's like it's like the luck of the circumstances come together with a studio that's just like firing on all cylinders, basically. Because like these guys, they've made Divinity Original Sin 2. They're not like strangers to this genre, and in many ways this feels like just a complete realization of everything they've been doing before, you know, they just keep getting better at what they do.
And it's got Baldur's Gate on the front, which, even though it's been a while, that still means a lot to a lot of people.
Yeah, but that's like a recognizable name, right?
I agree to that, and no doubt Baldur's Gate is recognizable. I don't think it's like one of best-selling games on Steam of all time recognizable. Okay, but right?
it is like like you said, like D&D has been on the rise for a while now. They just had like a really successful film, right? That sort of everybody is, and to do with like D&D is big, like Critical Role has been ridiculously popular for a while now, and it's like I think it's like a combination of all those things coming together to make
the perfect storm.
D&D really popular, and then also not to take away from just how ridiculously good this game is. I mean,
I
think it deserves it. Yeah,
everything aside what we said, it's like it's reviewed like high 90s. Like this is like I think what people didn't think at first, like this is now a very strong Game of the Year contender for a whole bunch.
I already thought this game wouldn't hold up to the hype.
Yeah,
and maybe that was the hype I was giving it, because again, Baldur's Gate means something to me. I love CRPGs. I absolutely love this genre.
Yeah.
And it was like I didn't see how it could stick the landing. But I do agree, like it did release in a time where it doesn't really have to compete with anything.
There's nothing else out right now that can really call itself a competitor to this, I would say. You got Armored Core in like 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks around that time.
Yeah.
Like what else is out that we're playing? Like we're playing RuneScape, but that's not.
It's like the hype has died down from everything in the early year stuff, so it's about to ramp up for the holiday, and this comes out, and it's exactly the right time. I was the same as Sam though. Like I wasn't sure this was gonna carry through to like full 1.0 race. And I think it's part of it is because like when you play early access, you playing like the very beginning, and it feels from both like gameplay and story and how invested you are in all these characters that like it doesn't quite get going until somewhere around Act 2. I was just suddenly like, oh my god, I really hope none of these characters die. I really like all of them. Oh my god.
That's good though, because that's just a sign of you're obviously really invested in the story, which is another sign of just good story writing, good writing. Like
it's one of those. There's no filler quests here. Everything is like I said earlier, where it's like a sort of almost consistent cast of characters across the acts. It's like every quest is for someone, and it means something that will come back potentially later, sort of thing. There's no guy that's like, boy, I wish I had like 10 wolf ears or something. It's always something like, can you get something for me? And then an act later, that guy will come back and be like, hey, it's the guy that got me that thing. Anyway, I've made this crazy stuff. You can have it, sort of. And it's like just little things like that where everything is constantly like set up and pay off all the time. It's awesome.
And the quests as well, like they're not like on rails either most of the time. They're like, yeah, we've agreed to like help these guys and like explore this place. And then the quest text will just be like, yeah, you're in it. Explore the place.
Yeah, because it's almost like it's not like accept quest from man, right? It's just like, I'm having a problem, and then you go away, and it's like you don't even say I'm going to help you. It's just like, oh, I just happen to be in the area. I might this I'm going to do this or not do this sort of thing.
Yeah. I've already cemented like that I will be playing this game. Maybe not soon, like in the next few weeks or whatever, but at some point when I can give this game the time, I will sit down and play. Maybe like over Christmas when I have like a longer 1 to 2 weeks off of work, I can just sit down and stick this on the TV or my computer or my Steam Deck or something, and just get proper into it. Because I want to check it out now, but I just do not have the time for a lengthy game like this.
That's the other great thing about this is like it's just you just buy it. There's no microtransactions.
Yeah, solid.
You just buy a really fucking good game. They've said like people were like, oh, are you doing expansions or stuff? And they're like, yeah, maybe, but we just wanted to finish the game, and now we're just going to patch it until it works.
Yeah, we're currently making about $10 trillion a day through word of mouth. So
so we're just not going to touch this.
Just let it ride. I've seen, you get all the front page of Reddit gaming threads like, can we just put our hands together and clap for a solid game with no DLC? And it's like, it's true, but it's like. Bleh. But
it is really
true.
hard.
But it's true. It is true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna start pushing it along. You got any final things you wanted to throw out?
I guess I do have a couple. It is a very, for how ambitious it is. It's like shocking how stable it is. But I have had problems with one. I've had some frame rate issues in some of the bigger areas. And Erin has as well, and like her PC is good, so
she got that new PC, man.
She got that new PC, so we have had some issues where, it's been a bit framey in places, and also there have been spots where it's kind of partly collapsed under the weight of its own ambition, where people have been like, we went to a whole area where we fucked up like the quest triggers so badly, we just haven't been back because there were people referencing stuff we hadn't done. We got to a part where some NPC was like, finally, so you've made the choice, you've arrived, and we were like, what the fuck is he talking about?
Who are you?
Which is a real shame, because it's like it's a storyline that we were like invested in and it was going somewhere, and then it just started. It like burst at the seams almost of how many of the decisions that we've made. And it's like, on the one hand, that really sucks, and it feels it it's like watching a movie halfway through and then like your DVD player blows up or something. You know, that's kind of how it felt. It was like, oh shit. But on the other hand, it's like I bet most people aren't even going to see that just because their decisions happen to line up. And I haven't heard many people complaining about that kind of thing yet.
Yeah.
Gives you something to look forward to on the next playthrough.
So maybe we just picked the run of decisions that was like, oh boy, no one does this. What are you doing? Sort of thing.
Decision. Well, not the decision. The thing that kind of the bug that I had the most trouble with is apparently quite common because I looked it up. And the biggest issue with it is basically I got to an area and you're supposed to get 2 things out of this area to try and be as spoiler free as possible. And after doing the first one, I could no longer do the second one. The situation was bugged. I could no longer proceed.
Oh, okay.
And what happens is when it happens, it bugs every single save file that you have.
I've heard that. Yeah, it goes back and
really?
retroactively bugs save files.
So when I go back, I can still do the first time again because nothing's happened. But the second the situation happens the first time, it's like it knows it's bugged. So it becomes bugged immediately again, and I can now never
it's a shame.
get the second one. And like I've outgrown what I would have got, so it's fine.
Yeah, you just move on.
But,
You're just like, okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, it was this again without too much spoilers. It's probably the biggest reward for playing Act 1, and Will hasn't even been there.
That's okay. We adopted quite early on. There's a section that's like it's like timed, and it's like you have to get out. There's a really strong enemy, and it's always like you can don't fight him. You can, but don't. And it's like apparently you get something cool for beating him. But we've adopted the mentality that's like there will always be more magic swords in the game.
Yes,
there will always. You will constantly outgrow your gear, and it's fine. And that's all fine. So that's been our approach after that very first scene.
Even in a game with no microtransactions or DLC and all this and the other, you still can't avoid the FOMO as you play.
Yeah,
It's still there. I'm so glad this game's doing so well. I'm hearing nothing but people enjoying it, which ultimately, what more can you get out of a game,
wish
right?
The worst thing about this game is I tied my playthrough to Erin, and she's gone back to work now, and we're only just starting to get into Act 3, which is the last act, and I'm like, I want to play more. I want to play more. God damn it.
It's time to both of you embrace the hermit life, leave all responsibilities behind. Live.
At least until I finish Baldur's Gate. Yeah.
Well, I really want to do a multiplayer playthrough, but the only thing I have is because I'm trying to do not everything, but speak to everyone on my first playthrough. I don't think I could do it again. It's too much.
Not for a while. Yeah.
Like I want to play again. I want someone else to make all the decisions. I just want to be a part of someone else's story.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a cool idea.
All right, I'll move this along then. But Baldur's Gate 3, the hottest shit right now. Everyone is loving it.
Literally might be my game of the year out of nowhere.
Insane. In such a stacked year, we've got another contender.
Right? Yeah.
Like, if you had told me Pikmin 4 would get dethroned this quickly, I wouldn't have believed you, but here we are. All right, now that we've got Baldur's Gate out of the way, we can talk about RuneScape and get everyone that's listening to leave as we just talk about RuneScape again.
Yeah, fuck off, guys. We're going to talk about Necromancers.
Necromancy dropped for RuneScape. The newest skill for, it's been like 2-3 years, I think, since the previous skill. This came out on August 7th. It's the brand new combat skill they just released to the game. I think everyone here is playing RuneScape still, right? We're all like heavily on board.
Yeah.
I've dropped off pretty hard since Baldur's Gate.
Have you?
I'm still yeah.
I'm still fully on board. It's kind of funny because Necromancy's just dropped for RuneScape. I think I did it for a day or two, and I've hit level 30, and I've almost been like, okay, cool. And I've just gone back to doing other RuneScape things, now just in a big spooky ghost outfit. Like, I'm doing the fort stuff. I'm just like cutting planks in like a scary necromancer outfit.
It's almost like really nice because I'm at the same. Well, I'm still doing necromancy stuff.
Yeah.
But like, the initial like, oh man, necromancy's a new thing. That's what I've got to be doing.
Yes.
It's like worn off, and now I'm just. I mean, I was making money yesterday.
You're making bank.
I made 100 mil yesterday just by passively just clicking a single button while I was working.
What's your secret? Oh, message me after this.
What? It's crashed. It's gone.
I knew it would.
Oh,
whilst we were
fuck.
talking about it, I said to Sam, whatever it is you're doing to make this money, give it like a day or two, it'll be gone.
Oh yeah, no, I knew. That's why yesterday I did it.
Yeah.
But basically,
right place, right time, right?
Literally,
that's sales for you.
you're making crafting reagents that you need to make all the necromancy stuff from like the mid-level onwards, and that stuff is needed to make the high level.
Oh,
so there's always going to be a demand for it. But like, what should like in the future is probably going to be about 100 gold a piece. They were going for 4,000 gold a piece, and you could get
insane
100 every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So it's 400k every 30 seconds.
It's actually insane. It's one of those things where, okay, so RuneScape, at least this iteration of it, RuneScape 3, this is the original RuneScape that came out 20 odd years ago that has still been going on. A lot of people playing this game are just, billionaires. They have insane amounts of money. And RuneScape is designed, yes, it's a new skill that's just come out, but I feel like RuneScape is generally designed to have you do everything all at once. Like you say, this new skill's come out, and I felt the urge as well, where it's like, oh my god, all I've got to do is Necromancer. It's a new thing. I've got to do this right now. It's really cool. I'm going to level it up, just this. But I don't think that's not the way this game excels. I feel like it's you do a bit of it, you get it started, and then you just keep playing the game.
Well, it's like to upgrade your gear, you need a relevant smithing level.
Yes.
And then to craft something else, you need a relevant crafting level, and this, that, the other. And
everything
it's like,
ties in. Yeah.
You can't just go, okay, I'm going to max out necromancy and not touch any other skills. You can't do that.
Yeah. You have to do a little bit of everything to be able to truly maximize. And that's why a lot of people that's why the stuff that Sam is selling sells for so much. It's because this game has so many people with that are like billionaires or whatever, that all they have left to do in this game is the new content.
Yeah.
So they just throw all their money, however much it may cost, at people like Sam to be able to do nothing but this new content.
Yeah, I spent 3 hours probably just clicking one button every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And again, I was working, so it was just, I wasn't doing it like on every 30 seconds. It's like when I get a chance, just click, right, back to it. And it's like, just up 100k. And then I even said to you guys, it's like, I don't need to make any more money now, because although 100k is nothing in the grand scheme of things, it is so much for me, for what I want to do.
Yeah.
I don't need to worry anymore.
Yeah, I mean, we're all still somewhat relatively new. I know you, Sam, you've got like a pre-existing account that's quite beefy, but you're still kind of you're newly returning. Is the best way to put it.
And also, I've done no high-end stuff, and I still can't do high-end stuff really. Like all of my skills are up to like 70s, but like to do the end game stuff, you need to be in the 90s in most skills. So
which takes a very, very long time, even with accelerated XP rates of this game compared to old school.
Exactly.
It still takes ages. But yeah, Necromancy, just like objectively looking at it, I think it's been a really cool drop. The new location, which is the city of it's a whole new like hub location they've added. It's the what would you call it? Like the afterlife, essentially, kind of place where just like ghosts and things reside. Very cool looking. Especially,
very pretty.
Yeah, especially when I'm doing all the quests by timeline, and I'm still very early in, right? So I'm like looking at all this really old
you're going
content.
from like 2009 to 2023.
Not even that. Like I did a quest yesterday, and I think it was a 2002 quest.
Oh my god!
And then going to this is jarring. How much better this looks. I don't think it's not graphically crazy. But I do think they know what their art style is now, I think, and it looks really nice. It's very stylistic.
That's what I was going to say. Whereas like a lot of base RuneScape now kind of looks very dated and very like, I don't know what you call it. Like, it's not an asset, but like how when you play an asset flip game, and it's like there's buildings just like stuck out of the ground at like awkward angles and stuff.
Yeah.
And nothing quite looks like it fits together. Like I know that's doing RuneScape a huge disservice, but this you go to this new place and you're like, oh wow, this is their art style, like fully realized. They've nailed it.
Yeah, and it's like I said, I'm doing all this newer stuff back to back with older stuff, and the older stuff that I'm doing will literally have like Z fighting textures and stuff like breaking, and that's the kind of stuff I feel like this content was ported from the older style to the newer style and just never touched ever again.
Yeah.
Whereas all this new stuff is, when you get obviously whatever the size Jagex is, they're huge, I imagine. You get all hands on deck working on this new content. It looks great. Like, it looks fantastic.
Yeah.
So, how far are you, Will? You say you haven't really played much.
Well, I got to Necromancy 33, but it doesn't feel like there was a point where I did the like intro bit, and then it was like, all right, click this one thing like 600 times, and I was like, oh, all right, okay, it is we are still playing RuneScape, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
so it's I feel like I haven't really gotten into it properly. It's just like more RuneScape sort of thing.
I think that's all you really need with RuneScape, right? Because what I find quite funny is I've seen some people doing the rituals, which is some way you get like resources and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've seen people stand there saying like, these XP rates are pretty slow for leveling necromancy, and it's just like it's a combat skill. You're supposed to be out being a necromancer,
go
like,
fight things.
Yeah. People just like just I don't know, like grinding.
I do
it
like
incorrectly.
what they've done, where you can just go and kill things and level up pretty effectively, but doing the rituals is how you get some really cool combat abilities.
Yeah.
And it's like you don't have to do the rituals whatsoever. You just won't be full power.
Yeah. It is also, it feels like, it's weird to say, but the way it holds your hand in this, it almost feels like it's expecting you to be a brand new player. Like no other skill has this kind of, or none that I've seen, has this kind of like extended tutorial with cutscenes,
like onboarding,
where it's like telling you, and it's all in service of like this one single skill. It's like there's none of this for like wood cutting or whatever, you know.
Elaborate quest line to go chop down a tree.
So it's weird, like something like a necromancy skill, which you'd think would be super advanced, is actually like, it feels like the perfect place to just onboard people almost, you know.
So it's a good way to introduce, maybe, because I feel like because this game's so old, it needs these sorts of things to almost convince people that like, no, it is still a real game, you know.
yeah.
Because you tell a lot of people about RuneScape, and the reaction is always like, isn't that game like 20 years old and dying? Is it even still around? Is it like, I thought it was dead? It's like, no, you need to be able to get people to, because Necromancy, I'm pretty sure, is free to play up to level 20 or something. So,
really?
Yeah.
Right.
So doing, the early stuff in this is a really great way to show people, like, no, we have some stuff still. It's not like all
we still got some stuff to show you. Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a great time with this so far. I'm still, like, even just Necromancy aside, I'm still having a lot of fun playing this casually, just here and there, bits and pieces. It's fun doing all the old quests and seeing what's new as well at the same time.
It's still the best, like, watch a TV show.
Yes.
Play this in the background kind of game. I haven't found a better one yet. Yeah.
Well, I've been, so I'll lead us on to the next thing, which is the streams I've been watching on the side whilst I've been playing this, specifically yesterday, is the PTB test servers for Dead by Daylight, which now has the alien killer.
Yeah, I've been watching some of that, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's out already?
It's out on public test. So you can't get it in the game. You can't buy.
Yeah. But I mean, people are out and playing it.
Oh yeah, you can see what he does, how he works, or how it works. I guess the alien.
What? That's crazy.
It looks amazing. It looks.
What's the turnaround on that? It's like 12 hours or something.
So what they normally do is they normally announce these things, and then it's like, test server in about a week, and then it's on test server right now. All went up yesterday. The official launch is 3 weeks, basically, from today. I think it was the 29th, I think, of August. Full release. If you haven't seen it, it legit looks amazing. I cannot wait for this. It's a full chapter based around the Alien franchise. So it's a xenomorph as the killer, Ellen Ripley as a survivor, and a whole brand new map based around, that franchise. And it's got like a big ship. You can run around a ship. There's an outdoor bit. It just looks, if you're any kind of fan to this specific franchise, it's an amazing pickup because this is one of the big horror icons. It's another one. They've got another one. They've done it again.
Yeah.
Like they're running out of
one.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question about the alien then.
Yes.
Because whenever they Dead by Daylight-ify a character,
Yeah.
they always adopt a really goofy walk. Like there's nothing less menacing about Pinhead than the way he just like waddles after you when he's
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
Is the alien just like broad daylight, just like awkwardly shuffling along behind you sort of thing.
What is cool about this killer is, outside of going into like all the mechanics of how it works, one of its main features is it has a mode it goes into called, I think it's called runner mode. It spends probably half the match in this form, and it's on all fours running around trying to stab you with its tail.
Oh, okay.
And it looks great because, like an alien, like you say, like goofily running around on 2 feet, just like slapping people.
Yeah.
Not the scariest thing. But yeah, they I think they lean properly into like it being this like menace on all fours, like a creature, like an animal.
Right. Okay.
Running around, but its mechanics are really cool. It has like a teleport, but it's not a proper teleport. There are vents around every map, like holes it can go into. And as opposed to picking where you come out of, you have to traverse like an underground maze.
That's cool.
Yeah, to come out where you want to. You go super fast in this underground bit, and you can set waypoints so you know which way to go to come out where you want. But the idea is that you go into this runner mode faster when you're underground, so it encourages you going through all these different vents and coming out underground. And when you're in this runner mode, you're on all fours, your terror radius is really small, and you attack with your tail, which is it's like a ranged attack. It reaches so far. But that's your game plan, is to sneak around in this really strong mode and stab people with your tail. The way to combat this as a survivor is where the alien comes in and out of these vents, there is a flame turret you can pick up, and you put it on the floor wherever you want in the map. I think there's like certain restrictions, but you can put it basically anywhere. And if the alien goes close to this flame turret, it gets hit by flames and comes out of the runner mode. So as a survivor, you have to
That's pretty cool.
You have to strategically put down these flame turrets to protect yourself from this really OP alien form. It looks like so much fun. It looks great.
Yeah.
Outside of all that, just all the animations, like all the sound, all the love and care that's put into this chapter. This feels like one that they've sat down and gone, okay, we have this license, we cannot fuck this.
yeah. We lost Predator. We cannot mess up
Alien. I remember when I was first seeing it, I was watching some streamers, like, look at it for the first time. They were selecting the character on the character select screen in the menus, and nothing was appearing. And everyone was like, is it bugged? Oh no, where's the killer? And it kind of like, it sleuths down from the top of the screen and like slides into frame. It's just all the animations and care. It looks so good.
That's cool.
I can't wait for this. Cool. I can't wait for this. Like, I want to play this now. Not enough to, I think, download the PTB.
Yeah.
But I'm super excited for the full release. The only downside is Ellen Ripley looks a bit odd, but
she does look a bit. She looks like teen version.
I think it's probably just the case of they couldn't get Sigourney Weaver's likeness, like just not allowed.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah.
Because like you get those situations where we have we have the go-to. We're allowed to use the Alien franchise. We just we're not allowed. We don't have the money, or we're not allowed to just put Sigourney Weaver's face. In this game, and that's the same for a few of them, I think. There's like Laurie from, I think that's her name, from the Halloween movies. Looks nothing like, God, I can't remember her name. The actress. She looks nothing like the actress. Just there's a few bits like that. So, but it's fine. It still is what it is. But yeah, this comes out on the 29th. Looks amazing. I'm well on board. What do you think of it? What do you think from what you've seen, if anything, or what you've heard? Let me just say.
I'm so excited.
Yeah.
I think the Nicolas Cage was exciting because it was Nicolas Cage, but I wasn't. I know. I think it's harder to get excited for Survivors.
Yes, I agree. Yeah.
Well,
whereas this is like killers are just so much more interesting.
Well, the killer is what dictates the entire match. End of the day. So any interesting killer that changes up not only the gameplay and play of the killer, but also of all the survivors is always interesting, right? But yeah, that was just such an amazing pickup for DBD. So you had that. This next story, we were talking about this a bit this morning. I was talking to Steve about this morning. This is all the new sort of dark and darker stuff. I think you two have heard about this. What do you know anything about this, Will? If I just say like new dark and darker stuff.
I know they basically just came out like a couple days ago and just said, we're launching today, we've got our own launcher, and you can just buy the game now.
It's
from
so
us directly. You can just give us $35 and it's back.
So we covered this before. Dark and Darker, the game that came out, and I would say it went viral, right, on Steam.
Definitely, it was huge. Yeah,
everyone was talking about Dark and Darker. It felt like. The original story was it did really well. Top streamers playing it, like it was top 10 on Steam, this, that, and the other. And the developers were ex-Nexon devs, and Nexon ceased and desisted them and said this is all based on stolen art and code and design and stuff, and it all got shut down, and they're currently in a lawsuit. And then they released a beta test, right, on their Discord, which was just like a torrent link. I think that was a few weeks ago, and people were playing that. But now they've actually launched the game, not on Steam. They tried to put it on Steam, it got pulled. And now they've released it through a game selling site called Chaff Games, which apparently, and I think you can also buy it on the official website, but I'm not entirely sure. No, you can. Yeah, it says here. Yeah, you can buy it on the actual website or through a place called Chaff Games. It's a separate launcher. It costs $35 to get this.
Yeah.
But they're still in the middle of a lawsuit based around this game.
Yeah. And the guy's been arrested.
Right?
He genuinely got arrested.
When was that? I don't remember that bit. He got arrested?
It's pretty recent. Pretty sure.
I'll see if I can find it in a second. But basically, the point of this story is it's just there's so much weird shit going on around this game, and they're still so adamant to sell it, and it just seems so sketch to me. Like, okay, I feel like this might like annoy some people that are really into it, but I feel like, is this not like, even though you could be excited for this game, is this not like a dozen red flags that you shouldn't maybe trust this whole thing? I don't know.
I guess for a lot of people, it's just like the fun of it. That's part of the fun. It's just like it's like old pirate radio kind of style. You're just like, we're not supposed to be here, but we're all here playing Dark and Darker. It's kind of fun. The game is also still really fun, so there's that. Like a lot of people have been waiting for it to come back. And it's also like that's it for what's in the game. It's not a huge amount of money to spend to get back in. So even if this does get taken down, even if this does get taken down in a week or a month or whatever, it's like, well, it's $30. You know, it's not It's not gonna break the bank. I spent more of that going to the cinema the other day, so
that's 2 meal deals.
At least. But yeah, no, I'm kind of with you where it's like I saw that and the hype was there, but I was like, I don't need this right now. I mean, part of it is I'm just neck deep in Baldur's Gate, but
yeah,
maybe in a slower month.
I was going to say, if you had like nothing else on, would you look at this maybe? And because I feel like you have to go into it with the mindset of, I could buy this and it could be gone like an hour after I buy it. Like I feel like it could just like it could be cease and desisted at a moment's notice, right?
Yeah,
because there's just so much stuff going on in the background. I have heard,
But then, like, there is like a real confidence to just say, like, yeah, fuck, it's back. We're selling it. You can buy it, right? And that's like part of me is like, I guess smarter people than me are on this legal battle, and if they think it's okay to just put your game out, I guess it's okay. Which is probably not a great way of thinking about it, but
I reckon it's just a group of people being like, "Fuck it, do it! I dare you! I dare you to release it right now." Okay, yeah, I'm going to push the publish button. Oh, it's out! Oh god, I can't believe you just did that! Oh,
isn't that what we all are, Josh? Just a bunch of people.
You're not wrong. Yeah. I think from what I have heard, some people that have jumped in are a little bit peeved because obviously the people playing this game, if you have to go out of your way to go to a third-party launcher on Chaff Games to buy it for $35 when it was free before or whatever it was, these are obviously like the diehard of diehard fans, right? Mm-hmm. No one I feel like is casually strolling upon Dark and Darker right now. It's just not in that position. But I've heard it's got quite a few microtransactions and in-game purchases that people aren't too happy with. There's a few classes that are locked behind really big grinds, apparently, unless you buy them.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
So you buy, Dark and Darker, this game you love because that's you're within that crowd. You buy it for $35, and then there's suddenly more classes, but you have to pay even more for them. I guess it feels kind of bad. Just feels like, again, because they're to me, because they're in the middle of lawsuits and stuff. It's just not just like trying to squeeze the dedicated few for what you can before it all goes tits up. I don't know. That's like tinfoil hat, but do you get what I'm saying?
I see where you're coming from. Yeah. I guess it depends how cynically you want to look at this maneuver, because you could just as easily say, "What a great little plucky dev for releasing their game and finding a way around Nexon's army of lawyers and releasing the game for people anyway."
Depends how you look at it, isn't it? Because I think I remember coming away from that whole conversation before thinking, I don't think anyone was the good guy here. I think everyone was doing not shady shit, but everyone was not great.
No, everyone fucked up somewhere along the way.
Yeah, like Nexon is a big company that was treading on the little guy and doing this, that, and the other, but like the Dark and Darker devs may or may not have been accessing resources where they shouldn't have.
Everything.
Like like no one was good. I remember there was. It felt like as an outsider looking in, there was no team to root for. It was just watching with a bag of popcorn, being like, "This is fucking awesome." Watching this weird shit happen. But yeah, it's, the other thing to bring up with this as well, which is, I don't know if this is just purely coincidental or if it's all tied in somehow. It's still happening. There are a whole bunch of weird copycats of Dark and Darker just appearing on Steam, and I don't know why. Yeah. I think some of them are scams. I'm not sure. I've got them here. One of them is a game called Greed is Good. Yeah. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, like this is just Dark and Darker, right?
But somehow it looks somehow even more scuffed than Dark and Darker.
Yeah, they just changed the UI.
Yeah.
And that skeleton is not reacting as it should. But yeah, this is like
another knockoff kind of thing.
Yeah, even down to the ability.
Yeah. Oh, this was one. Another one was a game called Dark, which is this one here. It's not that one. I found a completely random game. I thought I had it. Hang on. It's supposed to be prepared.
This game looks sick though.
Vampire Hunter. Maybe it's been removed already. Anyway,
That's it, isn't it? All caps? I don't know.
no, because that was the one I opened. I think unique stealth. Take a roll of a Vampire Hunter. It's not that. Anyway, there was one called.
Yeah, no, okay.
There was one called Dark in all caps. I did a little bit more like digging on that one. That one looked like a weird push for some dude's Patreon. It was really bizarre. There were a few comments on the Steam's page saying this is a scam, this is a scam. Don't listen to his Twitter. In fact, I think it's this one. I'm looking right at it. Yeah, it's this one here. Developer Jagraj. Like obviously no other stuff made. People saying it's a scam and that he blocks people on Twitter if you disagree. Went on his Twitter, it's like 20 followers and 2 tweets. Don't know what people are talking about. Went to the YouTube page, found one video, like no subscribers. Another comment on the community hub was saying like, don't give money to his Patreon because there's no there's an actual website for this that says like coming soon. Like it's so weird. It feels like
seems legit, yeah.
It seems like one big elaborate scam to just get like 50 quid from a few people on Patreon. It's so bizarre. But we're in this weird age now of like just dark and darker copycats because the thirst is real. I guess it's so weird.
Yeah,
because this is
it's funny that we kept saying like, yo, when are the copycats going to start cropping up? And apparently it's right after the game re-releases.
Yeah, but it's one of those things
that self-published.
when we were saying like, yo, when are the copycats? I didn't think they would be exactly the same. I thought like, come on, maybe like a little bit different. But they're almost exactly the same, just more scuffed because they're just rushed out. It's so weird, but I love it though. It's so bizarre. So this is the era we're in now. I still think watching this whole dark and darker thing is so interesting because I feel like you just can't guess what's going to happen next.
There's so many twists in this story. I thought this story was like over, but it just keeps going.
Yeah, I'm waiting for like the counter sue or something. Yeah. Or just, I don't know, like Epic Games announced their own game, like Black and Blacker or something, and then that's the new hot. Like anything can happen, right? It's great. Yeah, I love it. It's so bizarre.
I'm so shocked. Ubisoft hasn't slapped a Tom Clancy game together. Tom Clancy's Dungeon Diver or something.
Tom Clancy's Dark and Darker. It's got NFTs. It's got towers that you have to climb to uncover the map. It's great.
I'm so shocked they haven't jumped on that. They've got nothing else going on right now.
It's got a crafting system. And also,
get those pirate game guys on it.
Yeah, and also Beyond Good and Evil 2 has been delayed again to make way for this Tom Clancy's Dark and Darker 2. Oh god. So yeah, that's all the weird shit going on with Dark and Darker. What else do we have? I told you all to watch Evo last week. Anyone do that?
Missed it.
Completely missed it. Great. Love it. It was a solid show.
I caught the finals. Yeah, it always is, man. It always is.
Yeah, even I didn't sit down and watch all the finals yet. I want to sit down at some point and just watch the Street Fighter 6 finals from start to finish and stuff like that. But the cool thing with Evo, which is, I think I said last week, is there's always a ton of announcements, fighting games, which is always great. I'll race through these quite quickly. They're not always interesting as each other. Street Fighter 6 getting TMNT crossover. This has already gone from hype to controversy as of today.
Okay.
Have you heard any of this?
No, I saw the announcement.
Yeah, so there's a difference in cosmetics in Street Fighter 6. You have character costumes. Obviously, I want to make Guile look like this outfit, whatever. They're not really in the game yet, but they'll come at some point, no doubt. And there's also, you have your avatar, your creator fighter.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah, and almost all cosmetics in the game so far have revolved around this character that you make yourself. It's almost odd because there's so much emphasis on this avatar, and everyone is kind of thinking, why does he look like Raphael? Why can't I make E Honda or Blanca look like a turtle?
Chun-Li.
Yeah, or Chun-Li look like a turtle.
But like Shredder.
But it's so there's already that sort of oddness, which is just like okay, like more Avatar stuff, fine. The big issue is the price of these, because now that it's officially out, these skins are ridiculously expensive. If I told you there's all 4 turtles, right?
Yeah.
So you can pick who you want to look like. How much do you think it should cost? To look
20
like
quid for all 4.
20 quid for all 4.
Yeah,
They
tops. That's yeah.
they are £15 each.
Ooh.
Insane, absolutely insane.
What the fuck?
That's not even.
That's a copy of Baldur's Gate there, and change.
Yeah, so there's not just the 4 turtles. You can look like the 4 turtles, but there's also, if you just want the bandanas, you can buy those as well. There's like some emotes and things like that. Again, all for your custom character. I think people worked out that the total altogether is about $80 for everything TMNT.
That's so gross.
It's absurd.
What the fuck?
People were just baffled because it's like no one is, going to buy this.
Yeah, that's ludicrous.
It's ludicrous. It's absolutely ludicrous. So yeah, the story's gone from kind of cool collab to this is grossly priced. The game on its own is what, like 50 quid. All the turtles for
I don't know how
quid?
how do fighting games get away with it, man? Still,
I'm so sorry.
they've skated by for far too long. I can't wait for Riot's Project L to come out and just fucking annihilate all these ridiculous prices.
So stupid. It's so stupid. The cool part of this though is because they're so horrifically expensive, and the creator character is so in depth. There's a whole bunch of images and memes you can find online of people making their own scuffed Ninja Turtles with the character creator.
Oh, yeah.
They are really good. I haven't got any to hand here, but if you go on the subreddit right now for Street Fighter and stuff, everyone's just posting like someone with the actual skin standing next to a guy just painted green with like a yellow circle on his stomach. They're so good. They're so funny. But yeah, that was some of the Street Fighter stuff. The other half of the Street Fighter stuff was the new character Aki. Who is the next character coming out in, I think, she's 3 months away. It's really weird that they're showing her now. But she got like a little story trailer, a couple minutes long, showing off who she is in that. She's another crazy lady, like Jury, which is kind of disappointing. I'm kind of seeing half and half, people being like, oh yeah, I love that archetype. Other people being like, Jury's literally right there. Like, you've already got this in the game.
Yeah.
All we had before this trailer was like a screenshot or like an art piece. What do you call it? A concept art of the character. And I was kind of hoping she'd be like not insane, but just like a more.
But she is insane.
Yeah, she is insane. Yeah.
I love her hairstyle. That's very cool.
It's crazy. It's like a lily pad kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's the student of a character called Fang. Street Fighter 5.
I was gonna say Fang vibes.
Yes.
What was that character from Street Fighter 4, right?
No, Street Fighter 5. He was a new character in Street Fighter 5. He had a really thin face and he had a really baggy arms.
Little round glasses.
Yeah, and he was an absolute weirdo. And it looks like they've toned it down a little bit, but they're going for that crazy girl / weirdo vibe with this character. So could be cool. She's still ages away though, so. I was talking to, I think, Steve or someone about it, about how they just launched Rashid, the other character, a week ago. And it just seems weird to me how they didn't just show him off instead and drop him the same day and be like, Rashid's out, go play Rashid.
Yeah. Oh, as Eve. Yeah, that would be cool, actually. Yeah.
Because this character's so far, Aki is so far away. Like, it's cool that I can see her trailer, but she's so far away. But yeah,
I don't know. Capcom seem like they're trying their best to bungle all the goodwill they've got from this game so far.
Careful, Capcom. You had a good launch.
yeah. We all saw Exoprimal, right? We know you're not infallible. Come on. Chill out.
Exoprimal proves you can bleed. We got new Mortal Kombat 1 stuff. 3 new characters, Reptile, or not new characters, but new for the roster for this game. Reptile, Ashra, and Havoc. The one people will probably know is Reptile. He's the green ninja that turns into a lizard.
Yep.
Yeah. Ashra and Havoc are, I think they're from Mortal Kombat Deception, which is like an old PS2 one, I think.
Right.
So they're not new characters, but they're basically new because not a lot of people played those games. Havoc in particular is really cool. He's kind of like a weird zombie character that pulls off his arms and throws his arms at you and then stabs you with the bones and does all weird shit. It sounds goofy, but it's in proper MK style. It's kind of half goofy, half horrifically gory.
Yeah.
But I think MK1 is out really soon. It comes out in about 5 weeks, 5-6 weeks. So we're getting almost a new trailer every week now. It seems like we literally just had the DLC Omni-Man stuff. What, like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and another trailer in between those. So that they're all gearing up. But yeah, this trailer is really, really cool.
Yeah, I love that. I love the Mortal Kombat trailers whenever they put something out.
They're so
even
fun.
though I know I'm not going to play it, but
That's how I feel with all fighting games. I love to consume their trailers and shit.
Yeah.
And like watching like all the fatalities or all the supers and win animations, but I could not care less for playing the game.
The cool thing about all the MK1 trailers when they show off new characters is because they're all base roster, they're all heavily tied into whatever this game's story mode is going to be. Yeah. So you get tons of just scenes in these trailers outside of the fighting of just these characters talking and hanging out and fighting in cutscenes and stuff. But it's so detailed. It's so well choreographed, and I think
that's the best bit, isn't it? That's the campaign.
I think Street Fighter 6 is at this point it's super stylish, right? It looks great, but MK1 will be the best looking fighting game when it comes out. Like, no doubt. Just the tech. These games just look insane. Yeah. But yeah, new trailer for that. You had, I'm not really massively into it, but 2 new characters shown for Tekken. Tekken 8, sorry, which isn't out yet. But they look really cool. One of them is Raven. He's an older character from, I think, Tekken 5 and 6.
I was going to say, I recognize that guy. Yeah,
he was in the older ones, and then Tekken 7 has a character, I think, called Master Raven, and it's a lady, and it's basically like a gender swap version of him, but it's his master. But it's like gender swap, basically. And another character called Azucena. Her personality is coffee. That's literally it. She does moves and talks about selling coffee.
Right. Which bear is in the new Tekken?
I don't know. I'm going to assume one of them at least. There's always a bear and there's always a robot. That's all I know with Tekken games.
Yeah.
Fatal Fury game, new Fatal Fury game. Haven't had one since 1999. I'm not big on these games, don't know much about them, but some people very excited. And then just sort of skimming through these. Johnny for Guilty Gear Strive. He's a very popular character from the last Guilty Gear, so he's finally in it. And then Project L had Yasuo confirmed as its 4th character. He was always going to be in it.
Like, I know. He's like the most popular lead character at this point, right, or something. And so he was always going to come to Project L. But just like all I could think when I saw that headline was like, oh great, he's done fucking ruining my mid lane. Now he's come to fuck up my fighting game. As he great?
Yeah, he's come to mess you up in a fighting game.
Yeah, for sake.
So he's the 4th character. So this game now has 4 characters confirmed. I think it's Yasuo, Darius, Ari, and was it Echo? Is his name? The guy with the time.
Is that it? Stuff. Just 4? I thought it was way.
This game's still super early, man. It's
I know. But I just thought it was like, I guess I thought it was further along in like the hype cycle than it is.
No, it's getting there slowly. I think it was playable at Evo.
Yeah,
but at this point, it's just, I imagine that's just playtesting, right? It's just it's not bringing any capacity. Yeah. It's just, what do you think of this so far? Because it's like halfway developed. But yeah, it still looks super fun. I can't wait to play this when it comes out. You also had Plankton revealed for Nick All-Stars Brawl 2. The biggest announcement. Oh my god. But yeah, that's all the Evo announcements. If you go on YouTube and look up like hype compilations of Evo finals, a bunch of people always make really good compilation videos of the finals that are always, if you don't want to sit down and watch hours and hours of these things, but you're just interested to watch, say, like 20 minutes, you can find the best bits on YouTube, and they're always worth watching. But yeah, other highlights of the show was a guy winning his pools on main stage when he is legally blind. He's a blind man.
Oh yeah, I saw people posting about that. Yeah.
He's called. Cool. I think he's called Sven the Blind Warrior. And yeah, he's legally blind, and for whatever reason, if you don't believe that or whatever, he was also blindfolded. Whilst he was playing, and he won. Absolutely insane. Because Street Fighter 6 has such good accessibility for disabled players. It's just amazing that even exists, right? That a blind man can win a tournament pools.
I just can't even imagine the setup of that. I can't even, like, in practicality, how does that work?
So from what I understand, there's tons of factors, but the main ones that exist are straight away you can just turn off certain parts of audio. So you can disable all music, you can disable certain sounds, which is already good because it lets you focus on other certain bits. You can just hear the characters, right? Another thing you can do is you can have like a metronome sound playing, like a constant, like a constant noise, like tick, tick, tick. Yeah. And that you can have that noise increase in speed or decrease, not in speed, in tempo, based on distance to characters. So if the opponent's really close to you, it starts getting faster, and then obviously through that you can know certain tempos are certain ranges, so you can do your moves. That's really cool. That noise that plays can change based on what side of the screen you're on.
Yeah.
Just a whole bunch. You can have certain audio cues play when you hit certain levels of meter, so you know how much bar you've got.
That's insane.
There was a guy that played a lot of Street Fighter 4 and 5 called Broly Legs. He used to play with his mouth and things like that. And I think just Capcom have been working really hard just over time to make sure there's these options for disabled players. It's great. It's amazing. You can also you can map certain buttons in certain ways. Nothing that gives you an advantage to the average player, but just like, hey, if for whatever reason you want these two buttons to be here instead of there, or to combine these buttons for whatever reason, you can do all this stuff.
Yeah,
so it's so good.
Super cool.
Yeah, it's so cool. Because it's people, fighting games are too hard. I don't want to play. This man is blind and he's winning. You have no excuse. You literally have no excuse. But yeah, I randomly tuned in to the Evo pools and saw that live and couldn't believe what I was watching. It was insane. So that's Sven the Blind Warrior. You can watch the match on YouTube because it's everywhere now because it's such a big thing. Really, really cool. That was all the Evo stuff. That's like the little Evo roundup. You posted a thing, Will, about Evo Day. I think I read that article you posted.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They were given the keys to the city because I guess they host it in the same place every year.
Yeah, Las Vegas every year.
In Vegas.
The mayor.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Las Vegas. Yeah, it's I believe the mayor of Las Vegas came out and gave them the key to the city, which I don't know much about. I'm going to assume it's more symbolic than anything, not an actual key.
No, it unlocks the room in Las Vegas.
But yeah, and I think it was August 6th is now Evo Day in Las Vegas.
That's cool as hell.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So yeah, that's all the Evo stuff. A couple more little ones we can go through quickly. This one's more, I don't know if it's funny or sad. This is a follow-up story to the main story, but the main story is about Red Dead Redemption. Did you two hear about this?
They're doing a remake and it's really expensive or something?
No, so we talked about this before, about how Red Dead Redemption rumors were going around about a remake because it's locked to 360 and PS3. You can't play it anywhere else. And people were saying, "Oh, a remake is coming," or something's coming soon. And then artwork leaked of like a high def version of the logo, and people were like, "Oh shit, it's actually happening. It's happening." Turns out what it actually is it is a port of the original game to the PS4 and the Switch. It's not a remaster or a remake in any capacity. Yeah.
What's the point?
To sell it again. Just an easy flip, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just it's a port through and through. There's no...
Yeah, but like, who out here is going to be like, oh man, time to brush off my PS4? Or
That's the weird thing is, it feels like they just...
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even clock that. Not even PS5, just PS4.
It's not modern consoles unless you count the Switch. It's the Nintendo Switch and the PlayStation 4.
Oh yeah, and how well is the Switch going to bloody play? Better off playing it on the PS3 or the Xbox.
I should fucking hope the Switch plays it well enough. Jesus, it's an Xbox 360 game, for Christ's sake. But then again, that game was so spaghetti code.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, what an absolutely deflating conclusion to all that lead up. Because people were like proper getting excited for just even a remaster.
Is this like part 2 of that? Do you remember a while back? Didn't we talk about how they were going to be really careful about what they did with their old properties because they fucked up the GTA remasters so badly? So is this like the second half of that story, which is like we're not gonna remaster this, we don't have time, but also we don't want to just leave it stuck on an old console, so we're gonna put it on an old-ish console.
But it's just the Switch and PS4. It feels like it's probably what happened. They look at what it is, right, and without changing much of this, what can run it? PlayStation 4 and Switch. I'm surprised it's not coming out on Xbox One or something as well. Maybe because I think modern series, like a Series S and Series X, I think they have to have backwards compatibility. I might be wrong there, but I think that might be a thing. Maybe that's why it's not on there. Because it feels deliberate, right, to keep it off of modern consoles.
Yeah, I don't.
Why is it on PS4 and not 5? It's so weird. So the other problem, not the problem, but the other thing that's causing a bit of a shit show with this is the price point as well. It's $50, which I assume will be like 45 quid for us, maybe even 50 quid, probably.
Probably 50 quid at this point, yeah. So it's like not a full price game anymore, but only because full price games are now 70 quid.
Yeah, and it's also 50 quid for an untouched game. It's just Red Dead again.
Yeah.
Like
for 50 quid, you could find a 360 and
a copy of
Red Dead with a copy of Red Dead already installed on an old hard drive or something.
Yeah, the person left the disc in it when they sold it to CEX.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's a bit weird.
It's such a deflating conclusion. It sounds kind of pissy. I'd rather have nothing. Like keep it. I don't want it on Switch. I don't want a PS4. Just keep the hype going and maybe release it.
But I guess you could look at it silver lining. This will, if it sells really well, show that people are interested in a proper remake of number one. Or you could look at it and be like, well, we're not going to make one because they've already got it. They've already bought 10 copies of it.
I think it will sell well anyway because just the install base on the Switch is so enormous.
Yeah.
You can stick anything. You can stick fucking shovelware on a Switch and sell 100,000 units probably. It's just how the Switch is. PS4 is a weird one, but then again, the PS4's install base
compatible, right? So
I believe so.
I've literally been playing Horizon Forbidden West. So
but is it for everything? Is it just like default? Can you just stick?
Assume so.
Yeah. It's just sad though, isn't it? There's not even like just a PS5 version that up-reses it to 4K or something. Because I imagine if it's just a port, maybe it'll run at 1080p. Because I don't think the original ran at 1080p. Because it was. Do you remember like PS3 games and Xbox 360 games, most of them were HD consoles, but everything ran at 720p back then. It wasn't like
I do not remember that far back.
Yeah,
No, I
some
don't
some
remember.
stuff did,
With you, bro.
but not everything did. I remember that. But yeah, that's the current thing of Red Dead. The interesting thing about this is, it comes out really soon. It's just been announced, and it's the 17th of August, which I think is like next Thursday or something.
I really hope that doesn't do super well, because I feel like that'll just like now a bunch of other studios are like, we'll just bring back whatever the fuck, and
Yeah, why remaster something if
why remaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll just put it as is.
literally just sling it onto the storefronts as it is. Make it compile.
Then I guess if you haven't played it or you really want to go back and play it, you don't have an option. That you can't. That is an option now.
Or it's
I guess.
it's basically the only option outside of emulation. I think.
Yeah.
I haven't looked into it anytime recently, but I think Xbox 360 and PS3 emulation has come a long way these days. Not that I'm endorsing it or anything. I just think that is also an option now for like these sorts of games.
Yeah, I mean, if your only other option is it's $50 for like a no work, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, so that's the Red Dead update and probably finale, at least until we get a remake eventually. Which anyway. Last little story. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is now been officially unveiled. It's rumor mill for ages. We've talked about it before.
Yeah.
You had rumor mill for ages, then I think leaked monster cans because that's how Call of Duty gets leaked.
That's how it always gets leaked. Yeah.
you had all that, and now
damn it, Monster! You gotta shore up, man. What's going on over there?
Red Bull would never do this. And now
owned by the same company.
No way. Really?
Yep.
Oh,
wait,
fuck.
who? What?
Monster and Red Bull.
Oh, are they? Oh, I didn't know that.
It's like that thing where if you look into it, when you go to
everything's owned by the same 10 companies. Yeah.
It's like you walk into a Sainsbury's or a Tesco's with all these items, and everything is sorted by 10 or 11 companies. It's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, here's the pharmaceutical. I'm going so off track. Anyway, Call of Duty.
Cool. Well, you're the big Call of Duty guy. Are you excited for Modern Warfare 3?
I'm very excited. I am very excited. They've pulled the curtain back and officially announced it. There's been a couple of small trailers, but nothing substantial. This is the newest thing, so this is what I'm showing. They do say in this article, which I'll go through in a second, that the official unveiling is in a few days from now. So probably maybe before this even comes out, this podcast comes out, or just after, you'll get some kind of official trailer or something for the next game. But a lot of what is said specifically in this article here, which I'll go through, is what was leaked before, which is that Modern Warfare 3 initially started life as an expansion that just grew too large, basically. What this article talks about is they're doing something called carry forward content, which I think this is brand new for this series. But most of your stuff in Modern Warfare 2, if you play that, will go forward into the next game. So characters, gun skins, unlocks, cosmetics, they're not left in the previous game. Which again, like I said, just kind of confirms that this was going to be an expansion at some point, probably.
Yeah.
But it sounds cool. It's not really spoilers because these are basically remakes or like retellings. But Makarov is the main antagonist again, like in the original trilogy that came out 15 years ago, or whatever. And they're leaning heavily into that story-wise. I know all the focus with Call of Duty is on multiplayer and all that kind of like Warzone stuff, but the campaigns of these games have been really fantastic. It's just a shame they're so expensive if that's all you're there for.
Because I always meant to ask, did Modern Warfare 2 2022 did that
God.
Fuck me, it's so confusing. It's ridiculous, isn't it? But did that have its version of like no Russian?
Not that specifically, but there were certain campaign missions that were obvious homages, or like, like Leonardo DiCaprio doing the meme where he's pointing at the TV, where it's like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's
right,
that bit.
I see it, I get it. Yeah, right, okay.
They're not the same game, but they hit a lot of the same points.
Yeah. So like Modern Warfare 1.
Kind of, yeah. It's like, that's why I don't call them remakes. They're so close to being remakes, but they're not. They're almost like reimaginings of the original story. Which is
what's that one anime that just they just do the same story over and over again, but with like slight changes?
I don't know.
I think you're on about Fate Stay, but
I can't remember. I had a roommate who was not a roommate. I had a housemate who was obsessed with it in uni.
I have no clue. And
it was like he kept getting me to watch it, and I was like, "This is just the same. It's the same film. What are you talking?" He's like, "No, it's different. It's different." Because
I think Berserk has been made into an anime like 3 times or something from the beginning. Yeah. They keep doing that. There's tons of stuff like that. But I really like these campaigns because, like I said, as someone that is
they're great.
Yeah, as someone that is nostalgic for like COD 4 and stuff, it's really cool to point at these bits and be like, oh, I remember that. That's really cool. I remember the mission all gillied up and stuff like that. And
so cool.
Yeah, there's tons of stuff like that, and the campaigns are so cinematic. They're so good.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens with the whole Xbox Activision buyout thing. I still stand by that. If it happens fast enough, you might still see this on Game Pass.
You still backing that one?
I'm still backing that. It depends on when it gets announced, because I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But it feels like
it's November. I read November.
Oh wait, hang on. Yeah, maybe they did do the date, didn't they? Yeah, they dropped a date. Yes, that's right. Yeah, it was November the 11th or something, I think. Let me find it quick. Modern Warfare 3 release date. Don't show me the original. You son of a bitch! I knew you would.
That's like, what was it when we were googling hyena?
Yeah.
Yo, we were trying to figure out hyenas. Yeah.
10th of November. As I was googling it, and it was loading. I was like, "You're gonna do it. I know you're gonna show me the original date." Yeah, Alex just put it in chat. Fucking Modern Warfare 3-2. Jesus.
Modern Warfare 3-2.
But yeah, 10th of November. So yeah, it's standard, right? Prime season for kiddie Christmas.
Yep.
Presents.
Yep.
But yeah, that was the last sort of big news story. Really, there was a few other bits, but I didn't really bring them up. Apparently, John Cena is in Overwatch or something.
He did an avatar for them. I saw an avatar. He did an advert for them. Yeah.
I haven't watched that. I just assume it's an elaborate troll, and as soon as I open it up, it's going to be like, "Oh, you fell for it. Why would John Cena be in Overwatch? You idiot!"
I mean, why? We don't have to get into it. Why are they paying John Cena a shitload of money to be in their advert? Why don't you just pay people to make better content for Overwatch? How about that?
Yeah, use that to pay.
I know it's not that simple, and I don't care.
Take that money, pay developer to give me back my PvE proper, for God's sake.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
No, you know what? We got a few minutes really quick. We do have time to get into it. I do want to get into it. What is going on with Overwatch 2's just narrative? We're cancelling PvE, but here's John Cena talking about PvE. Like, what is going on? Am I going crazy?
I wonder if they're still in the process. You know, like how massive these projects are, especially like Blizzard projects. I wonder if they're still in the process of like extracting the bits that they want to keep. And it's like, look, man, we paid John Cena for some dialogue. What are we gonna do? Not use it? Like, come on, we can find a way to use this.
Imagine just because PvE gets cancelled, but they still have John Cena booked. You just bring him in and just hang out with him for the afternoon. Just like, we've paid you for this time. You want to just like go grab some ice cream or something?
Unironically, that would be a better advert for Overwatch. Just hanging out with John Cena and playing Overwatch would be a better advert.
Oh, can you imagine being like an employee at Blizzard though, where it's like not a fun place to work, everything's falling apart around you, and you look over the side and just your project lead is hanging out with John Cena doing nothing.
With John Cena, yeah. Well, you get paid no amount of money to make fucking Overwatch 2. Yeah.
we're paying John Cena to bring him in to bust up the protests and unions out the front of Blizzard HQ.
he's gonna choke slam all the protesters. Yeah.
They're all protesting. He just comes around. He's just like,
Oh
"Are you sure about that?" And then they say, "Yeah," just starts choke slamming. Oh, Jesus Christ! It's not gonna get any better than that. So let's just do these releases quick. As I said, Red Dead comes out randomly on the 17th. That's an upcoming game.
Go buy it or don't.
Yeah,
whatever.
Buy it or don't. Who cares?
You can have my copy. I think it's in the garage.
My one's covered in dust somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
The only other release that I think's worth mentioning is Vampire Survivors on Switch. Reason being, I've heard some. This is a while back. I didn't put it in the stories because it wasn't 100%. But there's some shit going around about how there might be a new version of this called the Director's Cut or something that may or may not just launch the same day. This is so rumor mill.
Really?
Yeah. Because like I know what these devs are like, right? I wouldn't put it past them to do some weird shit where they just drop some new stuff on the Switch date that they've made.
Did you ever go and watch the no clip for this?
I watched most of it. I don't think I ever went back and finished it, but I watched most of it.
Well, they talked about how he's still off programming in his little engine, and he's not like developing the game. He's making his own version of Vampire Survivors, and then he just comes in and says like, "Look, I want this stuff in the game," and then he has a whole team that are just like,
so weird.
How are we gonna port this from his like old game maker's toolkit version of Vampire Survivors?
Yeah, how do we get his Flash version of it into?
Yes,
into
literally, that's
C++.
what he's doing. Yeah.
That's such a weird way of development. I made the game this way. Now you make it that way, and then his version just doesn't see the light of day. It's just his own little personal version.
Yeah.
That's so weird, but it's also so cool at the same time. I can't, because I just imagine he's just got like a stupid amount of money now from selling Vampire Survivors to the entire population of the planet, that he can just do that if he wants to. Just it's like we said about what is it? There's like the Stardew Valley guy. Just that you have so much money, so you want to keep working on Stardew? Fine, like you do you, bruh.
Yeah, like he goes to make his new game, and he's like, "Man, making games is hard. I'll just make more stuff for the game that's already out."
Yeah. So that's the only two things coming out. We had also that Atlas Fallen, that comes out tomorrow for us. That's the day. That's yesterday for podcast listeners.
It's the Surge people's new whatever the fuck they've made. I'm
still unsure about that game entirely. It feels
I just know nothing about it. I feel like everyone's just skipped over that game.
It's a game that feels like when you look at it. Let me bring it up. What is it? Is it Atlas Fallen? I feel like Atlas.
We don't even know the name of it.
The name of it. It's a proper AAA looking game that looks amazing, but there's just zero marketing outside of an AMA on Reddit.
Yeah.
But you look at it, and it's like, this looks great. And then they were describing the game on Reddit like, it's this type of game. I was like, is it? I don't even know what it is. I thought it was like Monster Hunter or some shit.
You gonna play? Is that on the rental list?
It's not, but I feel like this game is gonna come out and get reviewed, and people are gonna have the reaction of like, what the fuck? This is like, where's this coming from?
What do you think? This looks like like all their games. I think this looks like it's gonna really click with some people and be like a solid 7 out of 10.
I was gonna say like solid high 7, like
very middle of the road game.
7.8, 7.9, like just solid high 7. It's so weird to have a game that clearly has had so much dev time and talent put into it to just like, what are you?
Is this the untold, the unknown victim of Baldur's Gate 3 being pushed forward a month? To where they were like, look how we threaded the needle on 2023. Nothing is out. We beat Baldur's Gate and Starfield, and we're out of the way of Zelda and whatever else came out this year, the Diablo 4. And they're like, and then they, what did you hear, boss? Baldur's Gate 3 forward a month. They're gonna bury us.
Atlas Fallen's just gone fucking curb stomped by Baldur's Gate.
We're ruined. We've been ruined.
There's always a bigger fish. It's like, what is Atlas Fallen is scared of Baldur's Gate, is scared of Starfield, is scared It all leads back to Call of Duty. End of the day. Everyone's just scared of COD. What is the new like scary game, do you reckon, of this year? It's gotta be
Starfield,
Starfield.
right? Has to be Starfield, yeah.
I mean, like, just generally for the whole year, though. Do you think... Because Zelda had its own spot. Do you think if Zelda was overlapping with stuff, people would have moved for Zelda? To give Zelda the space?
I don't know, because I feel like
in
we
that
don't
case,
have...
I'd go Diablo 4, because I think if any game comes out at the same time as Diablo 4, people play Diablo 4.
Yeah, that's true, yeah, it was weird, because Street Fighter came out at the same time as Diablo 4. But
maybe apart from that is Starfield.
Yeah. You ever sort of... I've started getting that feeling now where I've started realising that Starfield is really close.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
I'm not even big on Bethesda RPGs, but I've started having that like brief moment here and there where I'm like, there's a massive Bethesda RPG like a few weeks away.
Yes. Like what the last big one to come out that was like, what was like Skyrim? I get
over. Yeah, it can't Fallout, but yeah, like I always think of Skyrim as the last big RPG, even though Fallout
like we
exists.
might be about to get another.
Fallout 4 was a shooter.
I don't know why I discount. I don't know why I discount Fallout, but yeah, like we might be about to get the next Skyrim, and it's like less than a month away now at this point.
Yeah, it's like years and years from now when we're getting the 6th Starfield port to another random console. It's all about to start in a few weeks. Yeah. It's exciting though. I'm excited to check it out.
You playing Starfield on launch? Do you reckon?
I will be if my PC can run it.
You go straight in. Sam, what about you jumping in?
Yeah, I mean, I won't be able to resist, mate. I want to.
Oh, it's on Game Pass, isn't it? You don't even have to.
No, yeah, it's all on Game Pass.
Fuck! How do I keep forgetting?
It's gonna be massive. That's what I'm saying about how it's like it's sneaking up. It's gonna be enormous. It's going to be such a massive launch. Have you seen Xbox have started winding down all like the free trials and stuff for Xbox Game Pass now? It's like the 1 month trial is now 2 weeks, and they've started consolidating all of Xbox Live Gold.
How do you feel about that, Josh? As someone who's ruined it for everyone,
I'm financially ruined right now. I can't... How many meal deals that is? Just can't afford it anymore, mate. But yeah, they're completely winding down. It feels like Starfield is the big point, like the point in time where they're like, this is where you start paying, motherfucker. You've had it good for too long.
Come on, yeah.
You're not paying.
We're not going to let you cheap out on fucking Starfield.
You're not playing Starfield for a quid. Are you insane? You can pay an actual sub, you cheapskate. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm crying into my pillow that I can't get my £1 Game Pass anymore. But I had it.
I've got to pay £8 to pay my gigantic RPG all of September.
Absolute con. As I cry into my £100 TMNT Street Fighter 6 skins. All right, we're done here. Let's go. Thank you for listening, everybody. We are done. Thank you for hanging out with us. It's been a pleasure, as always. My name is BottlerWorks on everything. What about you, Will?
Hello. You know where to find me, guys.
And Sam.
Hello. Goodbye. Farewell.
Our outro is slowly merging into our intro, isn't it? I don't know what's happened there.
Yeah. Sam started saying hello, and I was like, "Is he so zoned out?
I need to start coming up with
saying goodbye."
I was gonna do like an Oppenheimer, like I am Baldur, destroyer of gates, or something like that. That was gonna be my intro, but I'll put it here in the outro instead. I didn't have the confidence.
All right, do one.
No, I had that the other week. Wait, don't worry about it.
Right. With all your gusto, the final words of this episode, Will, do it proper. Go.
What?
Your Oppenheimer. Instead of the intro, do it as the outro.
No, I don't want to do it now.
Oh no, he's been put on
too much pressure on me now.
Bye.
Bye, Ron.